realize most of you haven't really heard my story of Cosmic Pulse and everything that we've been developing. And so I wanted to take a moment to go back in the journey to take you on a ride of how this all came to be. Growing up, I was always really taken care of, nurtured, and in that process of having guardians around me that really cared and supported me and took care of me, I felt like I developed that sense within me. I had that nature built in. And so that carried me through my life. My early years, I was a jock, a fitness junkie. I was liked by a lot of people. I had a lot of friends and, had an ego about that. I was really caught up in who I thought I was. I had a story of who I thought Shane Kipper was. And that story was muddied. It was a little out of alignment. And as I went through my years, I eventually started to discover how that story was out of alignment. But I got into drugs, the people I was hanging out with, drugs and alcohol. I was really leaning into other things to provide me with the feeling of wholeness that I was seeking through validation of other people and through these substances. And it didn't really work out for me. I ended up gaining a bunch of weight. I was really unhealthy and really just struggling, aimless. I thought the world was coming after me. That was when I met a guy named Gary Gilgan, who became my mentor for quite a few years. I was doing sales calls on a telemarketing floor, selling cars. I had all sorts of different businesses or endeavors or careers that I never really felt aligned with. But once I met Gary and we started doing this work of self-development and really becoming in tune with these different philosophies of life, things started to shift for me. I got around somebody that was on the path, that was doing the work and showed me what it was like to really look at myself and define who Shane Kipper is, which is an evolving story in itself anyway. But at the same time, also when I got introduced to plant medicines really opened my perspective to seeing myself and having a different lens to look through on the story of me. So that brought in a lot of different awarenesses and perspectives that started to shift the way that I seen life. I discovered a motivation and inspiration to follow my bliss, to follow my joy, to discover who I was. So then I started a YouTube channel and started documenting my process as I was going through his program and through life, talking about the things that I was learning, and started to shape my message and be able to speak my message and get it out there in all these different ways. I had a business marketing for other people. That's how I got started in my career, was taking a program by Ty Lopez, who taught me how to market for other businesses. And so we got out, got some clients, had some success with them, started our own programs. I had a ketogenic diet program, recipes, workout plans, you name it. Built the whole thing, never sold it, never made a single sale. Didn't even put it out there. And then we shifted and went into cryptocurrency, helping people build a portfolio in crypto and building assets. And then that shifted into training people how to trade cryptocurrency and make money in those markets. And we built a community, and the journey continued to evolve and shift. And I went back into marketing because it still didn't quite feel aligned. But in the marketing realm, I gained a skill. I got really good at what I was doing and then started helping people make a lot of money. And so I went full-time into marketing for a few years, started making really good money, made a lot of great connections, and was able to travel and live a better lifestyle with the money that I was making. But I also didn't have the right tools at that time to use the money for good. So I ended up spending all of it on drugs and alcohol. Moved to San Diego, thought I was living the high life. Lived there for a couple of years, got, like I said, into drugs and got my car stolen while I was there. It was this big moment for me, this realization of how I was heading down a path of pure destruction. And luckily I had the sense to make the decision to, at that point when I got my car stolen, to go home. I came back to Boise, Idaho, and had this whole new perspective of this place that I come from, this place that I live, beauty that is all around us, or all around me. And because of that shift of coming home and making that choice for myself, I got reconnected with people that were able to bring me into different ceremonies of indigenous tradition, using plants as a way to access the mind and gain new perspective. I sat in an ayahuasca ceremony ceremony that really opened my awareness and perspective of spiritual community, of coming together, of like-hearted people that want the best for each other, that are there to support, that can hold space. It was the first time I'd ever had actual community. I had a couple friends here and there, but it was never more than that. And if it was in a group, it was in a group that I never really felt aligned with, because there was drinking and alcohol usually. And with that new perspective, I sought it out. I wanted to find other people that were like-hearted, that could hold space, that were loving and accepting, because I wasn't loving and accepting of myself. And so I was able to be in a space where people saw that for me so that I could see that for myself. And on the last ayahuasca ceremony that I did, I was gifted a drum. It became a symbol in my life, a symbol of the truth of me, the rhythm of who I am, my expression, and to be able to share that. I didn't know why it came into my life. It just was pretty random. I've never played instruments in my life until 2 years ago, and just picked up the drum and started playing. I didn't know what it meant, just kept playing, started recording myself, shared that with a few people, and some of those people were also interested in music. So we got together and played music together, and that was the real first experience I had with making music, and it was in spiritual community. And so the combination of what I had experienced in the ayahuasca ceremony and the music and the beauty that was created, and to be able to do that outside of it with other people in a spiritual community really opened my eyes and created this inspiration. I saw the possibilities of what could happen if we were to come together in this space. And with my background in marketing, I decided that I wanted to create a container. So I started a Facebook group called Cosmic Pulse Community and started promoting it. Would get out and record videos, drumming in public, and doing anything that I thought was the right thing to do to build the community. And it started growing really quick. We started with 4 people out at our first drum circle, and within about 3 to 4 months had about 50 people at our drum circle. And since then it has continued to evolve into so many other beautiful things. My music practice has continued every single day. It's not something that I miss. I've gotten into flutes, hand pans, and all sorts of other instruments, and now are doing ceremonies for indigenous shamans coming up from the Amazon, doing private retreats and events, doing youth and elderly circles. And it's become this big opportunity to share that musical medicine with different groups and communities in the valley and beyond. And it's been a true blessing to me on this journey, not only in the realm of music, because music is medicine. With the intention that is being put into the frequencies, that is what we're receiving. And so we can go on that journey for ourselves, can be conscious of how we're consuming that on the outside world through mainstream songs, and bring that into our daily practice. It's taught me a lot about myself and how my thoughts really control my life. When I'm playing the music, I find myself judging myself. That's a big one. I don't think I have rhythm. It doesn't sound good. It's too loud. It's obnoxious. There's all these things that come up when playing music, whether that's alone or with other people. And if we can take the moment to become present in that moment with these thoughts, we can start to notice them from a space that isn't in attack. It isn't in defense. And we can give those thoughts some space to work through and be healed and transformed. And then that shows up in our daily lives. And then the opportunity to be able to do that with other people amplifies it. We get to be witnessed in that circle in our own expression, to be free in that and to explore it and to discover more of it. That really has its ripples and effects in the communications and things we're doing in our daily lives. It also has taught me a lot about myself on this journey, to be humble, to stay in alignment with the mission and the path, to speak my truth and to become more of that truth, to have courage and stand up for something that I believe in, and to hold that light so that other people can witness their own light, to be that cosmic reflection, that mirror. So I'm sure there's a lot more that I could tell you about my journey. It's something that is continuously evolving and becoming, and finding new things from the past that really do equate to my full story. So if you want to learn more about that story, if you want to stay on this journey, if you want to stay connected to what we're doing with these drum circles and these musical community events, then leave a like, share, follow. You can sign up for the newsletter at thecosmicpulse.com. Stay connected so you can get notified about things we've got going on in the valley and beyond, and retreats and events. We'd love to have you. It's a beautiful experience. If you're seeking that opportunity to find your expression and to explore it, then this is a place for you.